and we can move to albums of the month. Dun dun.
Let's do it.
Remember, if you're listening, we got no
We don't have a
soundboard.
soundboard.
So
We're doing our own sounds.
When I get it back, we're gonna put the SVU dun dun on there. But for now, I just gotta go dun dun.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so.
You got your list?
Yeah. Got it right here. Yeah, I got your list right here.
Go ahead and run your list, bro.
All right. I'm going to preface this by saying my top 5 of April makes up exactly half of my top 10 of the year. April's been a strong month for me. A very quietly strong month, but it's been strong.
It's stronger than March?
March had the Knowledge album.
March had the Knowledge.
And The Weekend. And those are the only two that I think are in my top. Actually, maybe Childish is in there too.
Yeah, Childish was in there. It's March, yeah.
I can't remember what my top 10 is, but I know for a fact that
these have been the two best months. These have been the two best months by far.
Yeah. So my top 5 goes number 1, an album that I don't know if you've listened to, Dev. I really encourage you to. I've been trying to tell everyone to listen to it, but it's called Western Circular.
Yeah.
It's by an artist, Wilma Archer.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I've been taking your suggestions so seriously as of late. This is going to be one of those ones that I have to check out.
Wilma Archer is a new alias of somebody who's already made a lot of music under the moniker Nicholas Jar.
Okay.
I think he's like Swedish or something, but he's like a composer, songwriter, composer. And this newest project he put out is apparently 5 years of work. He started making this in 2015, and it's just like a lot of cool like strings. It really reminds me of like a Flying Lotus album. A lot of like weird elements, avant-garde, but it features a couple big names. Sudan Archives, who blew up pretty recently.
Yep, she's got a nice album.
Yeah, MF Doom is on it.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
The singer from the band Future Islands, which is another one of my favorite like rock bands. And it's just like a super easy listen, but it's not like a boring listen. It's kind of like that Innocent Country, where it's just easy to listen to, but
right.
it's got a lot of cool shit going on. But
Still
anyway,
keeps your attention, but easier on the ears.
Yeah, it's kind of, there's some creepy parts. Like the MF Doom song is kind of like creepy, but like it's still like really listenable.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's my number 1. Number 2 is Innocent Country 2. It's we already talked about it. But number 3 is a project that I listened to and was like, I don't know if I like this at all. But then I listened to it like 5 more times and I cannot get enough of it. And it might end up getting better and better, but right now it's sitting pretty high on my list. But Shabazz Palace's Dawn of Diamond Dreams.
That's right. You mentioned that, and I didn't even know. So Shabazz Palace's is just one guy? Is just the one guy, right?
I think it used to be a group. I think it was 2 guys, and now I think it's just the one guy. It's really cool. Flying Lotus, again, is I think there's a lot of like similarities there. But there's a song on this shit called Money Yoga. It's towards the end. I just like this. I like this project a lot because it surprises me. Every track is like a surprise. And when I got to Money Yoga, which I think is like the 3rd to last track, I was just like, as of right now, Money Yoga is my song of the year by quite a bit.
Okay.
And a lot of people probably will like think that's odd because it's not like a super innovative song or anything, but everything about it, every element, the engineering, the vocals, everything about it is like so solid. I just love that song. So that was my number 3. Number 4, you guys, I wasn't on the pod, you talked about it, but Pray for Paris is probably my number 4 right now.
Boom.
The best Griselda record so far. Although I don't know if not this year so far.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, that's a big.
No.
That's a big claim.
This year, and although I do think that El Camino is very good. That just came out.
Right.
I think
El Camino dropped and
Flea Lord, but I don't love that project.
I'm just informing the people.
Yeah. So Pray for Paris, my number 4. Y'all already talked about that. And then number 5, I don't think we talked about at all. Maybe we mentioned it with Raph, but Tom Misch and Yusuf Diaz.
Huh?
What kind of music? You know what we talk?
Who?
Okay, so Tom Misch is a singer. He's been Misch. I don't know how to say his name. I don't know. He's been all over the place. It's got that track with Freddie Gibbs. I think we talked about this for like an instant.
Okay, word.
There's a track on this album with Freddie Gibbs, and Yusuf Diaz is a jazz drummer that's done a lot of stuff with like Robert Glasper and Thundercat and shit like that.
All right. Now you're talking
so
names.
They did a collab album. It's kind of like a jazzy R&B project, but it's Freddie Gibbs feature. Yeah, just a solid, like, I feel like jazz has been kind of slacking this year. Like, I listen to a lot of jazz in my free time, and I haven't, like, gotten a really solid project yet. I think Terrace Martin has put out a couple stuff that I like, but he's a little more, like, funky, know, R&B.
Yep.
I was really looking for something a little more jazz-oriented, and I think that this project is, like, exactly what I was looking for, so... That's my number 5.
Remind me the name again of the project.
What kind of music?
What kind of music? Tom Misch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Yusuf Diaz. And yeah, that's my top 5 of April, which is 50% of my top 10 of the year so far. So
wow, and that's a low key list of albums too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Pray for Paris, but the rest of those, those, I haven't heard. And I'm looking forward to checking at least 1 or 2 of those out.
All right, man.
Let's break into albums of the month.
Your April.
Yeah. April albums of the month. You're right. April was a fantastic month, and you picked on some records that are even more on kind of a subterranean spectrum that you really got to be in the know on some circles to kind of like hear those things come up. But my list, even though I think there are some more recognizable names on it, it's still a pretty underground list, I think. It's still a pretty niche list. Number 1, I got to stick to my guns here. Westside Gunn, Pray for Paris. So far for me, probably my album of the year. I mean, I think I've just been waiting on that album that I was 100% excited about, and it 100% delivered. And I feel like this is that project. You know, I thought Thundercat could have been that for me, but just didn't really deliver on what I was hoping for. This is that project that I think kind of knocked it out of the park when I was hoping it would do that. As far as some of the other albums on this list, you know, I didn't have a ton of expectations going in, and then they wowed me. But it's nice for you to be excited about something and for it to be made good on. That's why Westside Gunn, I got to go number 1 this month, number 1 this year so far for me. Pray for Paris. Number 2 in April. Came out right at the beginning of April. So I almost forgot. I thought it was last month. Yves Tumor, Heaven for a Tortured Mind. Love this album. A lot of the albums that are on this list started in like a, this is okay, this is like a solid record for me place that built up into, damn, I'm really impressed by this. I love how explosive and passionate and gung-ho this album is, and I love how it, like, the first 6 or 7 songs are my favorite. I mean, it's just hit after hit after hit, and it's like a roller coaster ride of this really power heavy music that's got a strong sense of groove to it still, that's got rhythm to it. I think it comes with all sorts of interesting sounds. It's very unlimited. I thought that first song, do you remember the first song off the top of your head on the album? But it starts off with these like horns that almost kind of sound like a Mad Villainy or like an MF Doom produced kind of like thing. Yeah. So I just love that it goes from somewhere like that to like such an overtly artsy, art pop, art rock with these real hard rock elements to them. I love Kerosene, how explosive that is, and how there's like fireworks going off at the end. I mean, this thing is like full of just like power moments, tons of stuff that I remember and really enjoy about this record. And I think it just comes into a place that is very unique, and I think it's gonna kind of just be there in its own bubble in terms of what was out this year, because there's not too many people you can compare to an Yves Tumor. The only people out there like that is like a Moses Sumney, and Moses Sumney makes a completely different kind of, he's like totally aiming for something different. So, it's super strong record. Been recommending it to people. Still, I'm gonna be on that, that train of recommending it to people. And I know a few of my friends out there really, really enjoyed it. Number 3, Rina Sawayama. Sawayama. I feel like I have a similar appreciation for this album with just a bit of a softer track list that I maybe enjoyed a little bit less than Heaven for a Tortured Mind. But I give it the same kudos on being so committed and willing to really flesh out and see out a bunch of very different ideas for songs, and have a track list of songs that are very individual. Each song gives you a little bit something different, and also can be completely like pedal to the metal, like just like consumed with a power heavy moment. So in Excess, which is the second song, I mean, there are these raging guitars that come in, very metal. And then we get into the next song after that, and it's straight like that song Excess is kind of like pretty pop, catchy moments into something really heavy and strong and comes on really strong. Then going to a song that's really strong on those rock elements, on those metal elements, that's kind of like she's this like Satan queen that then transitions into prettier moments, if that makes sense. And I feel like the whole track list kind of works like that. One song kind of feeds into another, that feeds into another, that feeds into another. And then over the course of 12 tracks or however long it is, you've covered a lot of genres or pulled from a lot of genres at the end of the day. And yeah, I would say it's one of the most impressive track lists I've heard this year. And number 4, Quelle Keys. I've been calling it Quelle Keys, Quelle Chris, and Chris Keys. Innocent Country 2. We talked about that earlier in the episode. So that's number 4. And then number 5, which I have some honorable mentions, but number 5, Smino. She already decided mixtape. Again, on the YouTube page. Was really impressed with, I guess I would say for each one of these albums that's on here, track list is impressive, is what really I thought was the star of the show. What they went into the album trying to do and then what they ended up pulling out of it was really great.